Hi everybody, Jane here, and today I am doing a review of Dewey the Library Cat. And this was my choice for my middle grade March nonfiction book, or book based on true events. So this book is about Dewey, who was a little kitten who was thrown through a book drop, or went through a book drop. I don't think they ever figured out if somebody put him in the book drop or if he managed to get there himself. But he was a teeny tiny little kitty, and he was found like freezing and shivering in the book drop by the main librarian at the time, like the head librarian, Vicki. And they decide to adopt this library cat as their, to adopt this cat as their library cat. I guess I've seen bookstore cats. I've never really seen library cats before, but I guess that's a thing. And I kind of wish my library had a library cat. And anyway, so Dewey is this amazing cat, and he makes everybody love him. And there are some struggles because initially, not everybody wants a cat in the library. And the librarians don't really get to decide that. It has to be the library board. So initially there's some question of, will they let Dewey stay? But then Dewey becomes a regular fixture, people love him, he goes and cuddles with people, he's a great cat, and he brings a lot of fame to the library. To the point that he's having, at one point, people from Japan come and tell his story. So that was really neat. And some of the things that were, sadder in Dewey's situation was that when he got older, people didn't want him at the library as much. They, thought they needed a new library cat, a young library cat. And so there was a little bit of, I felt a little bit of anger there, like, he has served you so well, and just because he's an older cat now, and he's a little more dingy, and he's not as cute as he used to be, y'all want to get rid of him. I was very upset about that. Anyway, my rating for this was a 4 out of 5. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was not something I would necessarily read again. I would definitely give it to your kid-loving books. And if you are a lover of James Herriot stories, I recommend this. And if you love this, I recommend James Herriot, particularly like his cat stories, or if you've got younger readers, he's got several picture books involving cats. So definitely this was a good read. My daughter did start to kind of read it and look through the pictures, and I learned after reading this that I didn't know it beforehand. There is a picture book series based on Dewey the Library Cat. Because my girls were on YouTube because we were looking to try to find some of the videos they talked about in the book about Dewey the Library Cat. And we found people reading the Dewey the Library Cat picture books. So that was really a cool thing. It was a fun read. It was definitely on a level a child could understand, but it didn't seem childish. I loved the information they gave. Being a cat lover, I cried multiple times throughout the book. It was so good, and I truly enjoyed it. Dewey's amazing. I love that there are color pictures of Dewey. He's a cool cat. I don't have a ton to say about this book other than it was really good. If you enjoy books about animals, like I said, things like if you love James Herriot's cat stories, you will probably love this. This is a little easier to read language-wise than James Herriot would be, but it's kind of that same emotional punch. This is a cat that came into our lives and made a huge difference, and he's wonderful, and here's his story. And it was moving, and it was fun, and I really loved the interactions of the librarian. And by the way, I should add, Vicki Myron is the author with Brett Witter. And so she is telling her story because she's the one that found Dewey. And even though Dewey was kind of a library cat, they became super close. And she was the one that took him home on weekends and stuff like that when the library was closed, like long weekends. So yeah, this was a really good book. If you're an animal lover, it's definitely worth reading. If you have a child who's an animal lover, it's definitely worth reading. My hesitant reader at least gave it a go. She got distracted by other books, but for a minute, she was all up about Dewey. She was all excited about Dewey, but it's good. And I think especially if you can read it to them, it's definitely worth doing. We had a good time, but it will make you cry. If you love animals and you love cats, it'll make you cry. It made me cry. Alright guys, I post videos Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And my social media is below, as is the like and subscribe button. Talk to you later. Bye.